Started plus.
I don't know, it's 5:31 by this. 5:30 by my watch.
Okay, good. We're starting right on time.
Perfect.
Hi, is everybody ready to start the meeting? Would you like to begin, Rob?
Well, we don't have Casey's not here yet.
Yeah, Casey and Dr. Coburn and Mrs. Dr. Lieber are not here.
Okay.
So I think we'll go on to the
Okay.
So Randy, I'm
Number two.
gonna share my screen, okay, Randy?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. I have some data that I'm going to share with everyone tonight. But to start, we invited Denise Jennings here. Let's back up. I'm going to talk about Evergreen after school, before and after school program. Talk about some Acadians data, which is a program that we utilize to analyze and support our students at the elementary level with their reading. Talk about our future ready data, which is not official yet. It's been, Mr. Heinrich and I received an email from the state regarding a review of the data that they have. So this is not published yet, but I can at least show you where we are compared to previous years. We're talking about our PBIS status in our district, our graduation data, and then our goals. But moving on, so we have Denise Jennings here from Evergreen. And we asked Denise to come. I received an email from her probably about a month ago with the impact that the Evergreen program has had on our students here in Indiana. So I asked her to come in, share her thoughts about the program, where we are, review anything you would like. The board here have copies of, they're black and white, so I apologize. I didn't want Jared to yell at me. So I made them in black and white. But if you would like to just share about the program.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. As Sean said, I am the executive director of Evergreen for Evergreen Erin 21st Century. I do grant compliance, and I'm the data person. So I do love numbers, and you have to share those numbers. So I think what's really important is the impact snapshot that runs down the right hand side. So we served between our summer 2024 program and then school year 24-25, 199 of Indiana area school district students. And so pushing the numbers, which I do as I'm in the midst of all of my federal reporting, I found that it was quite remarkable to see that for our fourth, fifth, sixth graders, 41% of Evergreen, Indiana students had raised a whole level in their PSSAs. For me, that is remarkable. I remember back in the days when I was taking my PSSAs, and if you slipped or you jumped, it was more than just having a higher number. You moved to the next level. And we took a look at that, and 41% of the Evergreen kids moved to at least one higher level in either ELA or math. And those are the two that we look at. Year to year, so we take a look at the 23-24 and compare with the 24-25 data. 31% of the students increased their school year attendance, which is very, very important. And then, of course, we send out our teacher surveys, and we have 8 factors that we are surveying our teachers, and at least 50% of the Evergreen students improved on at least one of those factors. So that we thought was pretty incredible. We have a free program. We're funded federally, and for as long as we can keep going, and after our funding ends, which it's likely to do in 2027, we have a devoted board and a lot of great partnerships, and we're working to continue this because essentially, a lot of the parents don't want to say it, but they need us because of the fact that it's a safe place for their kids. They don't want to say it's childcare, but a lot of times it's childcare. It is, and you cannot follow a parent for needing our services, but we try to make that fun. You know what we do at Evergreen, every day they come in during the school year, immediately it's homework help that we do for 20 minutes. We give them a snack. Then we do a STEM activity. We do art, and we do structured physical fitness. That's what we do every time we meet. We've added an extra element to our Evergreen Erin programs. We are doing our Kids Connect program. So we took a look at the PACE data, and what it showed us was there's a real disconnect between our students in Indiana County and Armstrong County and but we were looking at the PACE for Indiana County, and they're not connected to their communities. So we've decided that we're going to try to help with that. Our summer clubs are so popular. You know, we have so many kids in our summer camps. So we thought, well, why not do this throughout the year? So once a month, we are doing mini camps throughout Indiana County. So the kids from the Clymer area can come into, well, we had one yesterday, Watkins Boxing, and learn to box. And Evergreen pays for that for them, interacting with their families. So it is family engagement. We're supporting local businesses. We're supporting local organizations. We've been in Blairsville. We've been at Oak Haven Mushrooms, you know, and they got to make umami and taste the fresh mushrooms. We'll be going to IUP, Indiana Theater, the Indiana Players. They'll be learning about doing shows and Buttermilk Falls. You know, we're everywhere. And we just think it's so important to be able to provide these services free of charge to the kids of Indiana County. You know, so we're very excited to be able to do this. And we also concentrate on what's on the back of this are the voices of our students and of our parents. So we use evidence-based curriculum, but we also are guided by our parent and our student voices. So we survey them, not only our teachers, but we survey our parents and we survey our students. We want to know things like what they like, what they want to learn, how they get along with others, how they like staff, and what they would like to do. Likewise, the parents, what are your needs? What are your child's needs? What do you know? How's our communication? Just so we can continuously improve our program, because we're really about improvement at this point and sustainability as we're heading towards, you know, the end of our grant. So does anyone have any questions for me? Because I'm loquacious and it's better to stop me now.
So,
I know what great work you do. I was on the board probably before you were born. And I was actually president one year, and that's where I met Erin. But I remember back when I was on, we didn't get any funding from United Way. Has that changed?
You know what? United Way has been a great supporter of ours.
Financially?
Financially, you know, we write the grants, and then they really went above and beyond this year and added to what we requested. Now we're hoping, we've asked if we would be considered to be a partner organization, and I'm told that there are some changes that are happening with the United Way, whether they're going to continue being a part, you know, having these partner organizations or not. But honestly, you know, and really, I don't want to put down our national organizations that our local United Way supports.
Right, I know
But
that.
you know, those folks have those safety nets, you know, behind them. But we've got, you know, people like us, people like Chevy Chase, community centers. We've got these local organizations that really could use the help. And I know that our United Way is really cognizant of supporting our local organizations. It's a wonderful organization. It's a wonderful group. You know,
And I'm happy.
they've got a great,
Yes.
great chairman.
Yes. Yes, we agree. Okay, so also, I'm so happy you're here because I haven't visited your website for a while. Is there still a link to donate?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
okay.
There's a link
Because I
to
used to do
donate.
that, you know how you get caught up in other things and now,
Yeah, and not only that, but we do what's called an opportunity scholarship. So once a year, we give 2 scholarships out to students, one K through 3 and the other 4 through 8. And it's not something that's going to support them academically, you know, out of school, but it's something that's going to support them now. So say, for instance, a child would like to attend a music camp or a theater camp or a
Right.
sports camp, and maybe the family doesn't have the capacity.
right,
So they complete this application,
that's nice.
and we award these every year. And we have a new scholarship. Well, it's not a scholarship, but it's a memorial fund. We're very saddened by the fact that last year, around this time, we lost one of our evergreen kids, and yesterday we lost 2 former evergreen kids,
Oh.
and both were lost in fires. You know, and so we established the Brenly Rose Say Memorial Fund to be able to continue to support, you know, the kids of Evergreen in enhancing their experiences. But last year we did donate $1,000 to the Say family, and this year when those funds just came in, we are donating. I mean, we don't have to, but we're donating to those families as well. It's just tragic. So
Okay, that's all.
sorry to bring
No,
that
no.
down, but
And obviously, you knew the students that passed away, so we're sorry about your loss as well.
Yes.
Because I know you were.
they were Evergreen Club kids. They are former Evergreen Club
Yeah,
kids,
sure.
you know, because they were in the junior high. But
Well, I mean, what Evergreen does really follows along with our mission as a district to prepare students to be productive citizens who positively impact society. So
yeah,
thank you for being a part of our district,
Mhm.
and thank you
Thank
for that
you.
presentation.
Thank you.
and we highly value our partnership with Indiana Area School District. You guys are fabulous. Teachers are great. Administration.
Hey, he played the guitar, he played the guitar last year to raise money for
I know he
Evergreen.
did. He was wonderful. He was our Kiss a Pig winner.
Oh, that's right. How can we forget
I
that?
got the trophy for that.
I have pictures
And
too.
if I can say something, Denise wears another hat where she's been very gracious with the school district, where she's allowed our 4th and 5th graders to go visit the Underground Railroad Museum out in Blairsville.
Yeah, you
She-
said that.
Yes, so thank you.
Yeah.
All you did. to help
Yeah,
us
so
out. We're
volunteering.
planning on coming down there. We're planning on
Yeah.
doing it again this year. The kids
Good,
really
good.
love that.
Great.
Yeah, you guys can all come along too.
Yes.
Because we've had multiple groups from Indiana Area School District, not just our 4th and 5th graders, but we had some other teachers who brought some kiddos over. And you know, I think it's important for your board to be able to, you know, see what they're doing. You guys are more than welcome anytime to come along.
Just wanted to say thank you publicly.
Thank
for
you
that.
so much.
I appreciate it.
Once again, thank you. And
Yes.
your support of our students helps support our students academically. And so
We appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
So,
Have a good evening.
so back to our
Thanks,
district's
Denise.
vision and mission, you know, the biggest part is really preparing our students to be productive citizens to positively impact our society. Moving on, our Acadience data, and this data is composite score, so it takes all of our Acadience assessments and put them all into one. And I have some other information on this, but you'll see last year, our 3rd grade, at or above benchmark, 75% of our students scored at or above benchmark on the Acadience assessment. We're reaching out to the Acadience company to see what the norm is for the country. But speaking with our school district psychologists, they think it's around 80%. So 80% is probably across the country where we want to be, and we're working to get up to that point. You'll see also in this slide and the next slide that there's a dip in 1st grade. I think the next slide is a dip as well. That is traditionally across the country. There is a dip in the 1st grade. They are doing a new study, as we talked about, I think in the fall, to try to renorm those numbers. But also put some other information about some dates of when things started. Obviously, 2021, we didn't have any WIN, what a need time, didn't have our reading specialist there to support our students. We just started CKLA Knowledge. The students were online, you know, the big transition moving forward. And then 2 years ago, 23, 24, we started the second portion of our CKLA program, the skills, and that was implemented all in grades K through 2. So as you can see, doing pretty well. And the next one is Ike and Horace Mann. Once again, you'll see in 2021, it started very low. The first grade moved up here a little bit, which is out of the norm. And then we slowly started to increase as we move forward. So curious to see where we're going to stand this year. The goal is obviously the higher we can get students third grade, the better off they will be. But we are definitely doing very well.
Trend lines.
Yeah, trend lines are going up. Any questions on Acadians? And the Acadians, there's a lot of different components of Acadians. Oral, reading fluency, letter naming, depending on the grade level, phonemic awareness, fluency. So the composite scores is a combination of all that.
Comprehension, yeah.
Comprehension, yes. Okay, now the Future Ready Index is basically a chart that I put together stemming back to 1819 or 1920. Next slide will show you. But it is where our PSSA scores are reported to the public. So you can see, it's not showing up there on the screen. I can't point on the screen. 1819, yeah, right here. That was before COVID, the COVID year, down the COVID, and then you can see as we go across. Now, ELA and Ben Franklin dropped down this year. Now, these are unofficial, like I said when we first started. These are not been finalized. This information has been released to PVAS, which is a Pennsylvania Value Added Assessment System. You said that right? And to link it, but it's not the actual data has been released to the public yet. So I talked to Mr. Heinrich. We have a session coming up with PVAS here next couple of weeks. And once I get to all that information, I can share with everybody about the growth of our students as well. But as you can see, there's a concern that East Pike and Ben Franklin, that we are below 60%, although we're above the state average. The state average, tentatively reporting, is about 50% in the LA. So right now we're about 9% above the state average. Compared to last year, I don't have last year's state average numbers, but they were a little higher than this year, I'm pretty sure. But we did drop down in the LA a little bit, and some position we got to work at. Math at Ben Franklin, though, on the other hand, rebounded pretty good. 2 years ago, 62.5, down to 50, dropped 10%, but went back up 10%, or 10%, yeah. And we are at Ben Franklin 20% above the state average. And at East Pike, dropped down a little bit, pretty consistent across the board. They're 19 points above the state average. So overall, we're doing pretty well. We do have to do some work in the LA, but once again, backing up to here, we just started some new skills a couple of years ago. So it's going to take a little while for the students to work through that. So if we started skills in 2023-24, these students were in kindergarten. Last year, they're in first grade. And next year, they're going to be in second grade. And then third grade when they take the PSSA in a couple of years. And then moving forward, and I put on here apples and oranges because obviously every year it's different group of kids.
Well, that's what I was going to add. I mean, we have different kids, so you're not really dealing with this. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to see that same group as they
And
follow
that's
through.
where PVAS stayed up. Yeah.
PVAS, yeah.
So it's that, especially with Ben Franklin, because that's just third grade only. This combination is obviously 4 and 5 and 4 and 5. So it's a combination of 2 grades. But overall, you can see that we're above the state average all around. Eisenhower, this is last year, obviously 2 different buildings. Unofficially dropped down a little bit in the LA, went up in math, dropped down in the LA, went up in math. So we're doing something right in math. We have to look at what we're doing in the LA moving forward. So that's something that the admin team, we've all talked about.
Especially just because the Acadians benchmark that we have says our kids can read. 30% more of our students are at or above benchmark than they were 5 years ago. However, that's not translating to improved scores in the ELA. So we're working with our team and the teachers to figure out how do we attack that and make sure that those scores reflect that, and we're pretty sure that it's centered in on writing, but we're working on it.
And I think the admin
Still
team can chime in as well, and anybody that's familiar with the PSSA test, it's all online now as well. So now, students used to be able to just write down their answer, now they have to type it.
Yes.
And so that's a whole different ballgame for our students. So you're gonna see some trends across the state in regards to that.
And this is the first year that it's on the computer, is that right?
We've done it on the computer last 2 years
Okay.
because we were told ahead of time, like, it's coming.
Right.
So we decided to
Okay,
get ahead of
okay.
it. So we believe we've seen a dip, and hopefully next year we'll be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So
right.
fingers crossed. But
Yeah.
this coming spring is when it's mandatory for everything.
Oh, got it, got it.
I mean, and that's, I'm looking back at 18, 19, where we were
Yeah.
before the pandemic, and where we are now.
Correct. And math, we're blowing it out of the water. Where we were then, where we are now is, much, we're actually above pandemic in rates in some areas, but ELA is not.
But look at the difference even with the two buildings. I mean, Erin knows she's there. And then we dropped down here in math, and that building, this building went up in math. Now, being in one building altogether, it's gonna help out a lot.
We have a lot more people to share the interventions. One doesn't get more than that kind of thing. It's far more equitable.
Right.
And people disagree with me, but I still believe it's taken longer than what we expected with the new ELA curriculum. I mean, because, we did it in 2021 was the new ELA curriculum, and it's really taken it's not showing the progress that I think it should have shown.
And you may be right. It's up for renew next year. So we'll have a committee of people together to look at that and then analyze it.
And hopefully we can get teachers, because I know last time it was tough getting teachers because of the pandemic, but I'd like to see teachers.
100% teachers be involved this time.
We're looking at math
I
now
hope
currently
so.
this year, and we have a math committee. We've met twice already, and the third one's coming up in November to look at a new math series. So whether to continue with the current math series or go with a different one, the team will decide, and we'll present that to the board.
It's important to note that too, like the change that a lot of teachers wrestled with when we first made the switch was we went from that whole language approach to science of reading, approach. That is now state law.
Yeah.
The science of reading is state law. So we can change the program, we can change the curricular program that we use, but we have to pick something that's aligned to the science of reading. So
I just think there could be other programs out there better than CKLA that still do it.
we'll
So
find out.
Can I also just say though, that with the ELA, at that 4-5 level, we changed from Wilson Foundations to CKLA skills. And then we had, I think it was third graders who hadn't had the CKLA, but then they had something, they had a different skills. Remember this? And then they were at a disadvantage in their ELA curriculum there on spelling and something like some other things.
Here's a gap.
Because they hadn't had the K-2 component of it. And so then those kids didn't get that.
Or they didn't get the foundation.
So then when they're in when they were in 4th and 5th, and then now, the
We should-
junior high, they don't have the strength in spelling because they kind of were between two curriculums at pivotal points. And that's going to take a while for that to flesh itself out and show across the data from year to year to year. We're definitely apples to oranges here. That's part of the problem.
this group that were tested, if you go back, they would not have even been in school yet when those categories when they changed. They would have been kindergarten, if not even preschool yet.
4th and 5th graders right now.
These about third graders.
I was talking about the K-2. I
Yeah,
thought that's what
third
you made
grade,
a
right,
comment
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Well, but the K-2, that new curriculum was begun, and the
Right.
kids
Yeah.
in 3rd grade at that point missed it, right? They had the foundation. So then they had the teachers trying to kind of make up for the fact that they didn't have the K-2 skills in CKLA. They had foundations in CKLA, in foundations as their skills. So there was a disconnect then. So then those kids at 3, 4, 5, as you move forward, you're not comparing kids who received all the same curriculum.
Well, last year's
and
fifth
apples
graders.
to oranges. So
Last year's fifth graders would have been first graders whenever CKLA came out. Because it's 24, 25 was last year. There, if that was fifth grade.
This is fourth and fifth grade combined.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, going back,
Yeah, this is when we adopted, it was this grade, this
Yeah,
year was when we adopted
that's right.
CKLA. That was
So-
just the knowledge.
so say
And we
that's
didn't have
kindergarten,
skills.
kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth. So it'd be anyone in fourth grade last year would not have even been in the district yet when we started CKLA.
So, but there was two different adoptions. There was
Yeah.
CKA knowledge and
Knowledge.
CKLA skills.
So the skills came in 22, 23,
Yeah.
or 23, 24.
23, 24.
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
23, 24.
I
yeah.
believe so.
It was just on this slide back here.
22, 23.
23, 24 is skills.
Yeah, the skills are 23, 24, and then the regular CKLA was adopted when they came back from the pandemic,
Yeah, that was the knowledge.
20 and
Right.
21, yeah.
Correct. And to Dr. Price's point, that's when we had the foundations was our
Wills.
Skills.
Yeah, will skill,
Skills.
exactly, yep. So, yeah, and it was, so we have a hodgepodge right now, but it's gonna take some time, but we'll have,
Mhm.
next year it's up for readoption. We'll look at that, we'll get the, people who know a lot more about reading than I do that's in the room together, and we'll look through it and we'll try to figure it out. I think the one thing that's very evident though is we've had an inconsistent writing program. We've had different people teaching writing different ways, and I think if we can get some sort of agreement and momentum on how to write and how to approach writing early on, that's going to show some.
And we have a meeting coming up November 26th, with all that's a different meeting. We have a writing meeting coming up with, representatives from both buildings, all buildings actually, K through 5, to discuss the writing component at that primary level. So junior high, you'll see, the scores, once again, apples to oranges, but we're trending in the right direction. The junior high school is about the same, still about the state average. The senior highs has really consistently been very, very far above the state average. In ELA right now are 28.6, in math are 21.1. I know Mr. McElhaney sent me some other information I didn't include in here yet. I wanted to really analyze that a little more, and I'll send it out to the board once I have that information. But you can see that the senior high school is doing very well. Although it's not indicative back here at the elementary level where, Horace Mann math scores are 67, ELA is 53. And if you go backwards a little bit more, then that's a bad example, but if you can look at Horace Mann at 67, and then the high schools, it's 62.8. But they used to be bad in the 70s, so I'm confident that we're working hard to get up to that percentage pre-COVID. In ELA, pre-COVID was 81.5. Right now they're at 78.5. So very close. They're doing very well at the high school level. And, this goes into, my ultimate comment going back to discussion about our mission, creating students, developing students who are supportive and engaging in our society, and having a positive impact. And you can see at the high school, that's our ultimate goal. That's our end game. So the next slide really goes, and let me just back up a little bit. I will say that when I first got here, it was a big push of mine to be in the buildings and the classrooms. And it was a big push from the very get-go about walkthroughs and being seen in the classroom, not by myself, but the administrative team. Last year, total, when analyzing our system we utilize for teacher evaluations and observations, we had a total of 231 walkthroughs last year total. This year, as of Friday, we had 246. So our administration, they're in the classroom, they're in the buildings. We, as administrative team, every other week, we have a administrative meeting at each building, and we go out and do walkthroughs together. So it's important to be seen, not just to be seen, just to be there, but to focus on things. So our first semester, we've been focusing on teacher and student engagement. It's a really big push of mine. Our second semester is to be determined. I've talked with other administration about developing some of the protocols that we're going to be looking for, whether it's writing instruction, reading instruction, effective questioning, whatever it is. We're going to focus then more in the nitty gritty of some instruction that's occurring. But right now, I look for teacher and student engagement. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but my big push this next 9 weeks is You know, we've always had, positive behavior supports for kids. Give up, Ben Bucks, what did, I don't know.
White dollar.
White
Oh,
dollars,
yeah.
hiker bucks,
I know
all
about
this
them.
stuff for kids.
Points.
We don't do anything for teachers.
All about liberation.
So the big push this year, for me and the admin team, and I thank them for being so supportive, although they had no choice, was to give out ACE cards. So A stands for acceptance, caring, and engaging. So we see teachers that are accepting, caring, and engaging with kids, give them a card, write a little quote on there. Great job, blah, blah, blah. And we all know this as human beings. When we feel accepted, cared for, and engaged, we want to be there. When students don't feel that way, they don't want to be there. Same thing with staff. So when staff feels accepted, cared for, and engaged, they'll hopefully want to be there more and supporting their kids more. But one great thing going
Oh, wait, I have a
on,
question.
yes,
What do the teachers get when they accumulate
Well,
these cards?
after 9 weeks,
Good question.
9 weeks, they're going to receive classroom coverage for an hour.
Somebody, a winner.
A winner. Yeah, we'll pull names out.
Yeah, yeah,
Each
yeah,
building has a bucket
right.
with their names in it. So if I go in, I want to pull a name out in 9 weeks, and I pull out Mr. Brochus' classroom. He wins. Hey, I'll come and cover your class for an hour. Tell me when. And I'll go and cover his class. He gets an hour break. Just a little thing. End of the year, we combine them all, and we're going to pull off for a free personal day. I'm sure I'm donating a personal day to give out. I'm sure we'll come up with maybe some other things.
That's bad.
You know, just something little.
I don't know what the teachers would think.
And
I-
Jared, and cafeteria, everybody in the district, maintenance.
Jared has.
So
trouble.
maintenance-
Okay.
If district-wide maintenance names gets pulled,
Uh-huh.
they can leave an hour
Oh, you're gonna
early.
get
You
your
really
hands
can't
dirty
cover
with the
Jared,
wrenches.
if a cafeteria worker's
all the
name
time,
gets
sir.
pulled, Jared's the only certified person that can cover, so he's gonna cover cafeteria in the cafeteria for an hour.
Going back to the kids, Aaron, my son still had some leftover Dwight dollars from several years ago. I took them to Ninth Street Deli. They would not accept
I'm
them.
sorry.
That's good.
I'm sorry about that.
I need somebody.
See if I can find an owner that might be able to help you out with that.
I would like to say this too. Sean's done a great job of making this a priority, which is why it's getting done. And the walkthroughs that we're doing are not like gonna catch you doing something. It's all about that ongoing conversation. We're good. Good enough is never good enough. We're always should be growing. We should always be getting better. It's just about having that conversation. Love the way you did this. Love the way you did this.
Right.
Didn't see any evidence of PBIS being used. Is there, maybe I missed it or something. Just have that conversation of,
Right.
oh, you did miss it. Here's what I do. Or, you know what, you're right. I need to do that more. Whatever that conversation is, just pushing people forward and making sure we inspect what we expect.
And ultimately, all that reflects on our data. Because once again, going back to engagement, when the kids feel the positive behavior supports, when they feel like they're wanted, they're going to perform better. And we know kids have trauma. And we just heard about these, I can't imagine what some of the United kids are feeling right now, the trauma they're going through. So, I mean, we have to be there to support the kids as much as we can. But in saying that,
Sean,
yes.
one more question. When you do the walkthroughs, do you give a heads up to the teachers or, okay,
Not for walkthroughs.
No
For-
heads up.
For
But
formal
if the board
observations, we
members-
will.
What?
For formal observations, we will, but for
Right.
walkthroughs, we just pop in. We're there
Okay.
5-10 minutes.
but with us, the teachers knew we were coming that day when Doug and I visited.
I didn't,
Oh,
I didn't
I didn't
know.
say anything
No.
to anybody.
Oh, okay.
no, I mean, no, when we just walk in. I just go in and
They were happy.
I'll sneak in through a cafeteria door.
We see.
And just walk in and just walk in the classrooms.
Yeah, the magic's fulfilled. If
Uh,
you need help with your coverage, Sean, call me and I'll come help you.
Here's some magic
I have a
tricks,
few
Sean.
tricks I can pull.
A big push this past year was our positive behavior support program, as I say. East Pike, the junior high and senior high are on tier 1 last year for school-wide positive behavior intervention supports. And they're going to start moving towards the next tiers. Eisenhower achieved tier 1 and 2. And Ben Franklin tiers 1, 2, and 3. So that's different criteria that we had to meet throughout our supports with kids, in the interventions we're doing with students. So it's just basically we're working with all of our students for small groups of students, tiers 1, 2, and 3, supporting them in their behaviors.
Was Horace Mann's data included in Eisenhower then?
Yes, I
Yes.
combined it.
Okay,
That we are a tier 1, 2 school.
okay.
And that's a testament to the work the administrators are doing. I mean, that's a state recognition for implementing the program with fidelity, and that they come around and they spot check kids and teachers to say, what's the behavior matrix for your classroom? And they can tell you. And if the kids answer, they get the banner status. So we've got banner status in every one of our schools, which is great.
And school psychologists as well.
School psychologists as well. Absolutely.
And this was, Mrs. Kunzelman sent me this. It's really telling with our positive behavior management program at the high school. So in 2022-23, we did not have a PPIS program. Those are our green numbers, our green line. Now you'll see a spike when they started the PPIS program. That is due to the sheer number of referrals that started to come in because of a new program being started. But once the program was initiated last year, you'll see the orange, how far we've dropped down. And then this year is our purple. So we are drastically lower at the high school level in regards to discipline than we were in 2022-23. And that's where you want to look at the green number and then the purple number. Once again, the blue is when we instituted the program. It's just a change, new things occurring, and then it starts dropping down. I'm going to put Wade on the spot here. Wade, do you notice a big difference within the discipline at the high school?
I think overall, there's a big difference in the environment. And what it does do, I believe, is that those students for which there are purple, it allows us to put more time with those students. So it has a really good impact on those students.
So I'm sure, I'll share this with the board once the year's over, but the trend should be very similar, staying below the green, obviously, but even last year, the orange.
But the other thing, Sean, is that your yellow or your orange is relatively stable at 4, give or take a little bit, across the months, versus your green and even your blue, which would spike and go up. So I think the stability is an
That's a good point. Let's forget about the blues. That was the odd year when the program first started. If you look at the greens, it jumps up to 8, but the oranges are right around the 4, 5, maybe 6 level.
I mean, is there any correspondence with having basically a full-time dean of students and not having one? I mean, I know there were sometimes a couple years that Michael Berg was only there like half a day because he had classes, and now I think this year he's in there more.
Yeah, certainly. And attribute a lot of this work to Mr. Johns, Mr. Burdick, especially, and teachers working with the kids. But definitely there was a difference when Mr. Burdick was there and when he wasn't there. He's there half-time this year, and it makes a difference because he can handle a lot of the 1 and 2 levels, and Doug can deal with a lot of the 3s. And overall decrease, give both of them an opportunity to deal with those students for which there are discipline issues, more time to deal with them, so that there's positive residual effect.
No, that's why from what I can see there, it's how important it is to have that dean of students. And I mean, basically halftime still not enough. I mean, we need to try to do something to get them in there that full day, because I think that's a big part of the problem previously.
What a dean of students does also is that, when Mr. Burdick meets with the students, it's not the office. They're meeting with Mr. Burdick. And he's able to develop a rapport and a relationship with those kids at that first level.
Yes.
So that if it does escalate to another level, he has buy-in and connection and rapport with those kids.
No, I agree.
Yeah, he's a very good employee, very good worker, great hire.
And like I said, throughout this whole start of my presentation, talking about the mission, developing productive citizens who positively impact society. And I asked Wade to send me this. Out of last year, we had 216 graduates. 40 of the graduates went on to employment. 4 in the military, 149 in college and tech, and 23 did not respond. That's our ultimate goal. is, obviously we don't know what these are, but right here. 40 people are going in the workforce, 4 in the military, 149 in college and tech. And if you look at our majors, I know Rob and I and Tara and Jared, did you hand out pancakes last year, Jared? Were you part of that at the high school?
Not at the high school, no.
We were talking, and I just started like in April. Rob's asking everybody what you're doing. I think one of the kids said physics, engineering physics. Jeez, I mean, we're producing some great students out of Indiana. Can everything be 100% perfect? No, we understand that. But if you look at what we're producing and who's coming out of our school district, it's fantastic. I would love to see a little bit more in education. Only 3 in early childhood, but that could change. People change their majors.
Maybe our program will help increase those.
Yeah, it's been a great program. It really is. So, once again, ultimately, our goals are to increase student achievement and increase student and teacher engagement. We increase both of those, we're doing our jobs. And once again, my heart and soul is engagement, working with kids, talking with them on a regular basis. So, okay, that's it.
And like I
Any
said, we'll
questions?
follow up more with growth data once that's all settled. We have a chance to dig into that, but yeah, this
We
is.
started to, but I wanted to make sure we have the right information. Okay, Randy, it's all yours.
Hey, thank
Any
you so
questions? Any
much.
questions? I want to thank the admin team. They sent me a bunch of information. Some I didn't include, but I want to thank the admin team for also, and the psychologists for putting that information together too for me regarding Acadians.
Okay. We still don't have the number 1.
No, but I can, and
You
I'm
think-
a little bit afraid that maybe I didn't click send on the invite
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm
they're
thinking.
usually pretty
We'll
responsible
blame it
people.
on you.
Quiet.
Honestly, if you want to know the
Just
truth,
talking to
We
Casey
saw
the other day, and I'm like,
we,
oh, maybe I missed a little.
Maybe I didn't,
announcement.
maybe I'll go and find it in my
we
draft.
read it and,
Yeah,
I mean, I honestly didn't even think they had to come.
they don't really. I mean, they're gonna scrub the names out of everything. They're using our district name. That's
And
really
it's-
all they're asking
it's-
permission.
it's-
It's their work.
Yeah, and it's already there.
It's
not like, yeah.
there. I just thought it would be a nice thing for them to come and say to you, hey, this is what they've done and this is why we'd like to use it. But really, they don't have to ask our permission, but I just thought it was a courtesy that they wanted to extend and I thought it'd be great. So if I did not send them the invite, I will apologize to them tomorrow
Okay.
and, but tell them that you would approve that, use of the data. That'd be
And
great.
Lisa, do you have any input on that you would like to add?
Well, I've been working with Casey on the IRB
I figured that.
proposal.
Right.
And, what's required for use of the data in this way or this way, and
Mhm.
what kind of permissions she needs. But yeah, I mean, what she plans to do is really nothing out of the ordinary. None of the data are collected outside of what would be normal
That's it.
everyday
Yeah.
protocols for,
Right.
progress monitoring and things like that.
Right.
And so nothing she's doing is outside of it, like requires, a special level of permission from parents because
No,
they're,
no, it doesn't.
and the
Right.
data are de-identified.
Right.
So she's not going to have identifying information. She does want some data like male, female, kind of so that she can characterize the sample.
You're right.
If she, publishes that information.
Right.
To
And
be
there's
able
no
to say,
names.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because we had a chance to talk with Tamara when we were into these Pike. Sally and I, they were doing it in the hallway
Oh,
there.
yeah.
First
That is
And-
right,
And
yes.
and she had talked about coming in at some point after the holidays. I think.
Yes, she did tell us that,
And
yeah.
I think we absolutely would love to have her come in.
Yes.
To process more data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I apologize, I'll ask you.
She's a very enthusiastic
Yeah.
person. I was looking at
Both
your
are.
department because I wanted to see everyone and
Mhm.
like it changed so much since I was there. Food nutrition's in
gosh.
your department.
Oh, I know. We are like the
It's like
land
some
of
of this stuff.
misfit toys or something. I
Some
sort
of this
feel
stuff
like.
didn't make sense, but oh well.
It's all
Okay.
allied health. It's sort of one of those collections of we didn't know where else to put you all,
Right,
so we put you all together.
right. Okay, yeah, it's a good group.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now do we go on to number 3?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have
Um,
to say?
This is this is brought to us by Mr. Rowan, and I agree and support Dan's logic on this. Our cheerleading team, as you know, has been moving from a cheer squad to a competitive cheerleading unit. Competitive cheerleading is a way different animal than just standing on the sidelines and doing cheers for the crowd. Dan believes, and I agree with him, that we need to add an assistant coach to that dynamic, just to keep everybody safe, to make sure that there's extra support there. We had an injury at cheer practice the other day that, I don't think another coach present would have prevented it necessarily, but it would have helped the immediate follow-up to that situation.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a big number. It's a $1,900 position for the year. So it's a very, very doable number for us. And I think the value that it adds is significant. Dan, if there's anything you want to add.
Well, even if someone got hurt like they did the other day, just for that coach to be able to go to the hospital, if they had to go to the hospital, who's there to watch the rest of the team? So,
Or to walk that student down to the trainer's
Right,
office would have
right.
been helpful. I mean, there's a lot of different things, and competitive cheer is statistically one of the most injurious sports, I guess.
Oh, I think it's one of those.
So
Yeah.
having another adult in that room, I think, is better for the kids and for the other adult in that room. So now this is already approved in the contract, and the contract manages. It doesn't really say how many you need, but I just want to bring it to this committee in case somebody would object that we wouldn't hire it. But if there's no objection, we're going to bring, like we have tonight, we have all those
Good.
winter sports. We're going to have one for you on the 2nd.
Perfect.
Sally, Tom raised
Oh,
his
not
hand.
tonight. We're not hiring them tonight.
We're not ready to hire them tonight, 'cause
Okay,
we
go
haven't
ahead. I'm
posted it.
sorry, Walter.
Tom raised his hand.
Yes, is hi, Sally.
Are you finally paying attention?
Oh, I'm waking up. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited. Competitive cheer, does that count toward our imbalance in the athletic girls, boys ratios?
It does, sir.
Okay, so we end up with, how many kids are on the squad?
I have no idea.
Dan's right there.
Look at Dan, 17, he said.
He's
17,
great.
and how many boys, how many girls?
17 girls, 0 boys.
Well, that seems like a mistake. Dan, you got to do a better job. This should be, yeah.
Yeah, for competitive, yeah.
What a great way to meet girls. Okay, yeah, I certainly support the two coach rule. It's almost impossible to deal with any problems with the single coach. So
Yeah, it's a sport. Yeah.
It is.
yeah, and I am concerned about the number of injuries in that sport, but all the sports have that same problem. So thank you.
Thank you for your input, Tom.
Oh, not a problem. I'll be here all night.
Okay, good. Hey, did we ever get the mats put down yet, or are they just ordered?
No, that's here.
Were the mats here today, or
They came in, last Tuesday.
Yeah, they're in use.
are they using?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the mats may have prevented that injury from being even more serious.
Good. And yeah, the kids raised money for those mats.
Yep.
Are we gonna have to put the kids out to raise money for the assistant?
No, we'll cover that one.
No. Okay,
So,
all right. Anything else on that?
Amen.
Dan, thank you for being here.
Sorry to speak for
Do you have anything else you want to say, Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
No, thank you for your time.
Are you sure you don't have anything else? You have 2 minutes, so.
Funny joke.
No. All right. Let's move on to the Grand Canyon University agreement, which I read through, and it's for student teachers, right?
it is, and this is something that we bring up occasionally. They are relentless in asking us.
They're an online program, I
An
believe.
online program.
Yeah.
They have a national accreditation. They're claiming they have a regional accreditation. Because of our partnership with IUP and the number of student teacher placements that IUP requires to make their program successful, we typically forsake all others and work with IUP first. So I think this agreement is, now they came to Mr. Gilday and they asked, they sent us a new agreement. With the teacher shortage, what I would say is if you want to approve this to consider, student teachers from their institution, you can absolutely consider it. But I would be filling IUP spots first.
I mean, do we have problems with not getting enough IEP student teachers? I mean, our numbers over the last few years, they're still,
Depends what curricular area.
Yeah,
Obviously, but like my building, I have 5 right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
typically.
usually in the elementary, we don't have an
Yeah, I
issue.
have 5 in my
More
building.
senior high or senior high specialty areas or junior high specialty areas, we would have a little bit more difficulty.
But I wouldn't want to take any more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you can always
Right.
say no, right? A principal can say no.
We can always say no. It's just,
Okay,
for
on
right
this-
now, we can't say yes. And that's
Who-
kind of why we keep bringing it up. It's
Do
like,
they have actually a person on site to supervise them, or do they do that online too? You know, I mean,
a human being came to see me last year when they asked this question. So they said to us that they will have a supervisor come visit the classroom. so-
that's really important.
Because that was my big thing is like, I don't necessarily agree with online education instruction. However, with how things are
I
changing in the world, a lot of IUP classes are online now. So it's difficult to say no when this is more the mode of,
We did
operation.
it during COVID, when we had student teachers, we were setting up
Yeah.
laptops or cameras and they were watching remotely. So it
Correct.
did happen. So.
Right.
I-
On this though, would it be local people that are student teachers? then?
I'm sorry?
I would assume they're local people.
Last year when we said no to them, there was a
I remember.
woman who moved here. Remember, she was,
Yeah.
they moved and she wanted to complete her student teaching and we had to tell her no because we didn't have an agreement.
Right.
And at that point, we kind of said no because of our relationship with IUP and because of the accreditation that they had at the
Okay.
time.
What was the accreditation?
It was something national. I don't remember what it is, but now they,
No. I didn't
So-
guess.
So,
yeah. And
What
I
do we
can,
have
and I
now?
can,
We used to have NCAPE, but I don't know what we have now.
Kate,
CAPE, that's
yeah,
right, CAPE now.
correct.
Um,
so
so how many do you have at your high school right now, student teachers? I'm sorry.
5, 6.
Okay.
7.
That's a pretty.
Is there any at the
that's
junior
pretty
high?
standard number, 5 to 7.
Yeah, let's just
How many
say-
do you know?
Around the same number.
No, same number, okay. I don't know. What does everybody think?
so
Like
My-
middle schoolers, so yeah.
My kids do that.
so my question is,
7, 6, 7.
while the Grand Canyon University is an online program, we would still expect their student teachers to be present in our buildings and not student teaching from online. Is that
Oh,
correct?
definitely.
Definitely.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And so I think, Eric, you kind of maybe provided a little guidance here from my perspective. I think as long as IUP can provide enough of the students, that's the right way to go. But on the other hand, if they don't have a biology teacher and Grand Canyon has a biology teacher that needs that teacher experience, I think we should, because of the teacher shortage, and I'm just picking on biology, but on the specialty at the secondary level, I think we should be more open to it, because maybe there's a potential employee there on down the road, or at least give us a chance to look at them. And that would be my overall take on how to don't shoot ourselves in the foot, okay, for if their specialty is out there, but at the same time, give IUP first crack at it.
Mhm. I agree. That's how I would employ it for sure. They have 3 accreditations accredited by the Association for Advancing Quality Educator Preparation, and they're the Higher Learning Commission and the Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs. So
I don't know any of
I don't
those.
know any of them either, and maybe
Yeah, those are not the ones.
they're not regional, right? They're nationally accredited. They're not
Right.
regionally accredited, which my understanding is regional are usually more rigorous and specific to the area. So, I mean, we don't have to approve it tonight. You can table it tonight if you'd like, take no action on it. We can revisit it. I just, they, like I said, they're relentless in their pursuit, and I promised them I'd bring it to your attention.
Don had his hand up there.
The professors, would they be evaluating the student teachers remotely? Or
That's what he
That's
asked.
what I
They-
asked.
or she asked. Yeah, they claim that they'll come in.
That's the only thing. I would only want them here.
Well, why don't you let me go ask
More
this
than
So
question?
I'm
you know.
wondering then if that means that they're going to look for a partner in the area
That's
who
true.
can then come in person to supervise them. So
That could,
there's a couple of issues that happen, and we see this in speech language pathology with online institutions. One is how good is that supervision from the university side? So is that university supervisor someone they just found from like, oh, we need somebody in your area, we'll pay you so many hundreds of dollars to
Yep.
go check on this student, and
Right.
is that person a quality educator themselves, and are they going to do a good job of supervision?
good point.
The second issue is how well prepared they are, and Grand Canyon University is relentlessly persistent. I mean, relentless.
Fantastic.
So if our students as undergrads even just fill out anything, they never stop getting high pressure pushes
Wow.
to go to complete an SLP degree through their university.
Right.
So then what we hear from our own supervisors in the area is when they take a student from any online program that operates like this, you get very different. It totally depends on the student, whether they're a really high quality student who needed an online education for, whatever reason. They've really worked hard and they are very well prepared, or they're a train wreck. And it's just gonna
Sounds like
depend. And I-
cyber.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Those are
It's
all
a
good
great
points.
comparison. But I think that you just don't know until
Yeah.
the person walks in the door.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what the quality of the university support is going to be if that person is a train wreck.
Yeah.
We've experienced supervisors who say, oh yeah, I had someone from X university, and the university changed their grade. I failed the student. The university changed their grade in the system, and they passed their internship.
Who gave the grade?
The cooperative teacher, the
No,
cooperating
not
teacher.
IUP, they don't give the final grade.
No, we would never.
We
at
can
IUP.
override it.
We
And you have.
we can.
And we
but
have,
And
Yeah.
you have.
right.
Yeah.
Either lower or higher.
You can override it, but
But you lose cooperating teachers then.
well, but if a cooperating teacher fails the student legitimately, that they're not performing well,
Right.
and then the university changed the grade and they
Right.
pass it, then you've got a stamp on that student that
Right.
says IUP sends this student out
Right.
as being proficient when they failed one of their internships.
Right,
That would be problematic.
right.
We usually alter a grade if there's something else going on in that relationship
right,
or
right.
that situation that is not fully fair to the student,
Right.
right? But we would never take a student who's a train wreck in the classroom
No.
and
no.
then change their
But we
grade
pull them.
and then put them out in the world
Well,
as
I
as an
would pull them.
educated student. So you
Eric,
just have to be,
I
I
pulled
think,
student teachers.
yeah, you just have to be careful, and
Yeah,
I
now
think
that
you won't
brings
know
up some
until you
nervousness
get some
to me.
students from there, and even then, you might have some who are really good and some who are
I'm
weak,
on board.
and then you'll
Wait.
have to decide whether
Is
you
it-
want to keep that agreement
Sorry.
going.
Is it something that
Chris has
we,
something.
that we?
Chris had his
oh,
hand
go
up.
ahead, Chris.
So, just kidding.
No, no, I-
Messing with you.
He put his
How
hand up.
many, over the last decade, how many students have we had that went to Grand Canyon University?
None.
None, we've never had a.
None, because we don't have an agreement.
Oh, so.
Oh, you
it's-
mean how many graduates
Yeah.
have gone to Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Oh, how many
We don't-
went on to Grand Canyon? Oh,
There's no way to
good
know that.
question.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
there'd be no way.
that.
So we have no
There's no way
tracking
to know.
mechanism for that.
No.
Only if they go to it right out of high school, and I don't think we've had any that run straight to it right out of high school.
No.
I mean,
Typically,
And anyway,
it's non-traditional
I was
students
gonna
that
say
end
they
up there.
can
It's
get
like,
more non-traditional students,
Right.
which is good, which is a population
Yeah.
that,
Right.
finds a way to complete education and might be in the teacher pipeline, which is great.
So really, it
Just-
has more bearing to, like you said, someone after than really our students. right?
Yes.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, so.
Right.
I mean, can you pattern the agreement like what what IEP, what we have with IEP, and that way it's kind of consistent with what we have at IEP. They have to follow kind of that same.
Yeah, I think there's a couple questions we need to answer before you vote on this. Number one, why don't you have a regional accreditation? Be a first question. The second question would be, are you going to come in person and mentor this person? What are your protocols when a student struggles? You know, and then.
But I think Lisa's question is the supervising
Employee.
teacher
An employee of Grand Canyon or some
Or-
third party that you hire.
and or what are your requirements for their qualifications for that particular
That's a good
specialty?
That's a good question.
Because
That
the
would
thing
be a
is,
good
she's
question.
exactly right. They'll pick someone out just around here. They're not gonna fly someone up from Phoenix
Mm.
to
No.
supervise a student teacher.
Yeah.
So it'll be
You're right.
whoever.
Right.
Why would I go to Grand Canyon versus like one of the other accredited schools, like online?
The last person was,
Good
their
question.
spouse was a serviceman,
No,
so they were moving around the country a lot, so they,
that would have been a good
went to
one for
that
us to
option.
say yes to.
Yeah.
but- Yeah,
So-
we didn't say yes because we didn't have the agreement in place.
which is why I brought it to you last
Yeah.
time, was like, you know, let's
Okay.
consider it. But, you know, and Dr. Reed always used to warn us too about the accreditation too, and she was always,
Yeah, that's major.
yeah. So let
What do
me,
you think,
let me
Derek,
bring
as a
back,
Recent teacher.
So one of the things that, of course, we know that there's a shortage of teachers out there. So
Right.
I'm not saying that I would want to turn away somebody because they could ultimately be a good
Right,
teacher candidate.
right.
We could also, in this district, have a student who's non-traditional that may didn't go to college right out of high school, but always thought that they might want to become an educator and they live in this community. We wouldn't know that. And then we would turn them down and they live here.
Right.
And until they're in the classroom, we don't know what they're like.
Right.
And it would ultimately be my job as an educator to make sure that that person becomes a good educator. You know, I've had lots of student teachers over the years, mostly good, couple bad.
Right.
But that can be anywhere. But I think we're in a position now as a school district. The reason we have the Rising Educator Program is because we need educators.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern is, not saying that we don't need the accreditation, everything like that, but we also have to be mindful that that person could be a good educator that we may need in
True.
physics or
Right.
biology
Yeah.
or chemistry
Yeah.
or whatever that might be in those areas that are very hard to hire in.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
just-
And they're
I wouldn't
non-traditional,
want to
like someone
walk
said, most
away.
of them
Right.
are non-traditional,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I think it's, we have to
non-traditional
try it. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work, then we
Okay.
The other thing
When were
that,
we supposed to approve it?
did I put it on the agenda?
I
yet?
think it's on the agenda
Then
tonight.
Tonight is as early as you can prove it tonight. If you want me to go back and bring it to you again in a second, we can have a, is it not on there?
No, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I didn't put a star by it.
I don't think I saw it on it, but I may have missed it.
So,
the other thing you could do is
I
ask
think
for
it's on.
an interview with the student they want to place.
yeah,
You could
that's a,
say,
that's a really
we
good
just want to
point.
interview
I don't
the
think it is.
person
It's
that
not on there.
you
It's
want to
not.
place.
I like that
not.
too.
The only thing with academics is doing disciplinary IEP for commencement and site approval for the data use.
Okay,
agreement.
good, then we have time.
We have time to answer this question.
I think we're leaning toward giving them a chance, but just to find out a few of those things.
Sean and I will follow up and we'll get back to you.
Don't worry, you're gonna accomplish something.
I'll be quiet. I gotta have some experts in this room, so I need it.
Want to go on my mind?
Okay, we're done. We're finished.
We're moving on to outreach.
Okay, and that, are we on time? Yeah, we're right on
Almost
time.
on
4
time.
minutes, that's not
Almost.
bad.
Not bad.
I know, I only took 4 minutes
Yeah,
of your time.
you did.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
good.
I owe you 4 minutes.
You do.
I
No.
know.
No, you don't. So I appreciate it. So guys, thanks for coming. So for outreach, if you recall last time that we met, we talked about some of the stuff like the communication within the school, both internal and external, right? And one of the things that we looked at is it's kind of outdated. We don't have really a consistent way to share news, announcements, post updates on websites, social media. We talked about our website in general, and it's not very easily managed, nor do we keep parents informed. So this was on the backdrop. We were looking at the twice a year we sent out to people in the community just informational packets, letting people know what's going on within the school. So I think we kind of lumped them both together and said, that's about a $20,000 cost for us. Can we afford that $20,000 cost going forward? Or is there maybe a better way to do it? Can we look at email? And Aptigee is something, Rob, you brought to us and said, hey, this is something else. Or no, actually, Sean, I think you No?
No, when I first come, he was already looking at it.
Okay.
And I said, we just adopted it at Glendale.
At Glendale,
When I
that's
first
right.
got here.
So this kind of came, I guess, through both of you guys,
Correct.
right? And we agreed to bring someone to present to us and share with us.
Allow me to introduce Eli Mason. Eli and I have spoken several times over the last month or two here. He is from Apogee and is going to give an overview for all of you and then do a question and answer, and then we will take the next step based on your feedback there. So Eli, without further ado.
I appreciate the opportunity. I want to thank everyone at, the outreach committee and everyone just at this meeting today for allowing us to present everything. As promised, Robert, I'll keep it in that 15-minute threshold, try to keep it a little bit under for that Q&A. Where I'd like to kind of start out is just high level, right? Like Apogee is a top provider in the nation. We've got about 5,500 districts. I say that not to say that we are a big dog or a top contender. I say that just to say that we've had a lot of conversations like this and been in a lot of board meetings, outreach committees, tech teams, comms teams, you name it. And a big thing that we pride ourselves on is understanding where communication and marketing is going for the K-12 industry, right? Funny enough, I heard it mentioned in this conversation, teacher recruitment is a big topic, has been a big topic for a while. Competing with other local schools for like students from that marketing communication perspective is huge. And then I also heard mentioned in this meeting as well as that engagement aspect of students getting the community's attention. So everything that Apogee develops is through this lens of how do I create efficiencies for admin teams, but how do I also build engagement within the community and market the school, whether that's through branding of the communications going out or just a consolidation of tools for the community. So as I go through and showcase everything from a high level, from a tool perspective today, I'd love for y'all to kind of think through this as those concepts, right? How is this a marketing opportunity? How is this a communication consolidation opportunity? Jumping in here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I am a Google Meeting novice. I'm more of a Zoom guy, so let me know if y'all aren't seeing anything today. Can we see this all right?
Yes, sir.
Typically, when we're talking about our community, this is what they're looking at, right? We've got class dojos personally at your district. We've got newsletters maybe going out in the mail. We've got Instagram, all the social medias, texts, calls, emails. And there's this big push and pull between district communication, campus communication, and then two-way communication from the classroom, as well as coaches, right? Not the best strategy, but it's just the reality of where communication's gone, especially once COVID hit, right? So where Apogee wants to get away from this is to think through this opportunity of having not only a one-stop shop for the community, but a one-stop shop for your team. This is Apogee's publishing platform. This is all of those things that I just mentioned in that last slideshow in one place to manage for your team. We would come here and we would have the website hosting. We would have a mobile application that's automated. We would have social media integrated into this system. We would have your student information system integrated into this system for those emergency alerts. And we come here to update an app and a website through the live feed, land on the home screen of the cell phones of our community, hit Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, text important updates out or school closures, call, whether robocall or recording your own voice, text to speech, you name it, or email out. A quick message, upload an image, should we choose. In about 30 seconds, this platform is going to intuitively push this message based on the platform it needs to go to. For example, Instagram requires an image. It's not going to be ready to go out until I have that image, so I'll drop that off. Text, calls, and emails require me to tell it what contact group I'm looking for from the student information system, and then what campus or district I am targeting for those push notifications to the phone. You'll see now that everything is greened out. I'm able to schedule that to go up or down so that we as a organization can be strategic with our communications or publish it to immediately go out. The beauty of this as well is there is individual moderator control, right? So we want to empower our schools to do more than just share the weekly update that we spent time on and get our teachers and our coaches involved in sharing the great things that are going on as well. They can do that through the waiting for approval section where you choose who has access to this, but the district or that individual campus does not give away the keys to the kingdom unless they approve or decline that message to go out. And the goal is let's 10x the great things that are happening every day in front of our community. What that would look like from a website perspective would be probably something like this, working with Bald Eagle, Somerset, Waynesboro, Charters Houston, Greencastle, Brownsville. The list keeps going, about 112 districts across Pennsylvania, about 5,500 nationwide. But as you come to the website, I'll show you the mobile application next as well. It's all about the automation of dynamic communication. These news stories, these live feed updates are coming from ThrillShare, this system right here that I just showed you, automatically, keeping it dynamic, keeping your community informed and engaged. Events calendars are automatic integrations. Again, let's make it easier on your team from a campus to district level, but cater to the community's needs. These are the things that they're looking for. Those great stories that are going on, those events that are going on, those lunch menus, all the dynamic things that change a lot or things that are maybe mundane to manage are mostly automated, or rather than having a 45-minute update on a website, are in this system. Those automatic events, that automatic integration for staff, for student information system integrations, those dining menus, all quickly and easily managed here. Also managed within this same system is that two-way communication. I'm moving down here to the rooms section. Rooms is that consolidation of that class dojo, that remind. We want that to live in the same ecosystem, and I'll show you it from a phone perspective here in just a moment. But we want it to live in the same ecosystem, that same branded app, that same branded website, for a couple reasons. One, it's in the same ecosystem for you and your team. It's easier to manage. You're not having to jump across multiple platforms. But more importantly there, from a safety security aspect. From a safety security aspect, when we have teachers with multiple different class dojos or coaches with bands or sports U or you name it, right? There's hundreds of apps out there. We lose a little bit of control and oversight as a district. So we want that to live in this same system where a teacher can actually more easily manage these things because it's integrated with the student information system. I'm an AP language arts teacher, and I can now push an announcement out to my entire class or multiple classes at once to make my life easier. I can post materials, or maybe I'm a lower grade like Miss Lewis in second grade, and I've got class dojo and I love the behavior section because it helps me manage the expectations of behavior within my classroom and my guardians. All of those things consolidated into a simple, easy to manage system. But the beauty is we are the safest two-way communication tool out there, at least for the next year or two till someone copies what we're doing, because we use AI to monitor all the communication going on from a classroom level so that it is then pushed up to the district. Whether it's an image, a text, someone said something that was a little bit rude, AI catching it and stopping it from going out, or at least notifying someone that their message was removed. Now, from a mobile perspective, again, working with myself here on Google. Okay, so I think what I need to do is share this screen.
Sorry. I'm sleeping. Somebody nudged one.
So right now, you're just seeing my Google Chrome, correct?
Yes, sir. Looks like it does.
Tom, are you okay?
Oh, there you are.
Tom,
Are you?
if you're gonna take a nap, you might want to turn your camera off.
It's been a long day, gentlemen.
Yeah, hard
Perfect.
Eli, he naps in session too. Don't worry about it.
This should work now. It's a little bit different on Zoom, but now y'all should see my phone screen, right?
Got it. Yep.
Says phone in use. Of course it's going to do that, isn't it? Give me one more second. I got one more way to try here.
They did your baby's headshot. Is that professional?
Yeah, good. I love that.
I need someone to. Kelly, who did your headshots? I want to know. It looks professionally done.
I used to be in banking. So I don't know if y'all have heard of Arvest Bank. Whenever I was a mortgage loan officer, they got me that headshot. I promise you, you can probably see from Zoom, I got a lot less hair than that screen, than that headshot.
This is fun.
Yeah, there's one other way to share this. Apologies, team.
What I can't tell you why he looks for that is Aptigee is called Aptigee because they actually make an app for your school. So you will have a one app
Yeah.
for the Indiana Area School District app that you
Right.
can click on. So all those different things, Remind and the
Right.
Coach Speak and all that other stuff that comes, it would come to the class dojo from your teacher. I mean, you with children in the district know how many different ways and things
That's
are to keep track
Rob. I was
of.
going to say that with 6 kids, like
Oh, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine why you're
it's
even here.
it's so confusing to try to find stuff and track stuff and Power
I
School,
can't
and
imagine.
I
I
mean,
just
you think about
it's
our-
overwhelming.
Our district alone, you can get an email, a text message, Power School updates.
On school delays and cancellations, I get like 6 phone calls.
Phone
they just
calls.
tell
You
me
probably,
it's
you probably.
Student.
This won't put it in one
As-
spot.
As Eli's trying to get that, I mean, student information will be I know we had trouble with Power School, how safe.
Eli, the
That's a good
question is
question.
how good is the integration with Power School?
So the integration with Power School, perfect. There we go. It's a little bit different. I'm using my mouse.
Oh, look at the little dog.
My goofy golden. The integration with Power School is perfect, right? I've heard horror stories of other providers saying that they integrate with Power School and then it becomes like, oh, well, the formatting of the data is difficult for how our backend system reads it, right? Whether it's API integrations or SFTP integrations, right? Things that go over my head from a technology perspective. The beauty of our system is we code the backend to read the data, how it's being exported. So whether it's a language category, a cell phone category, an email category, a name, or how it's rostered to the teacher versus a coach, like we program our backend to read the data, how it's received. Power School being one of the, I would say, top 3 major providers in the nation, we're integrating with them thousands of times a day.
I mean, but the breach, I know we had a breach with Power School, or Power School had a breach that affected potentially millions. I mean, how secure is the app?
So the beauty of the app is we're not taking any kind of sensitive data. It is end-to-end encrypted where we receive it, but we're only going to grab data that's important, right? Like a name, an email, a number, and maybe a language, right? So from a liability standpoint, we're going to limit that. One, we don't want that more sensitive data just out the gate, right? We don't need it. We can take more data, right? Like if you want to do an automated attendance reminder text to parents whenever a kid's marked absence, we can automate those things, or we could automate like a low lunch balance reminder if the data is available. But for the most part, we're going to limit the sensitivity of data that we grab for those exact reasons. I will say we've never had a breach. But to me, Power School had such a massive breach like that in the future, right? And the thing is, we have full on-site SecOps teams or security operations teams monitoring all traffic to our websites and our apps as well in real time every day. So whenever you're not a Power School working with probably 2x what we work with, the beauty is you can do that, and there's a lot less data security that you're having to worry about keeping an eye on. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this question is coming from a digital immigrant, so it might be a dumb question. Is the app only for a phone, or can the app go on laptops and,
Yeah.
TVs and those types of things?
I think that's a great question.
Thank you.
It's because we have mobile friendly websites, right? They're going to function more like an app. We have the custom app for Apple and the custom app for Google or Android operating systems. But the reality is there's a different preference for different demographics and different communities. There's no silver bullet of communication. I'm sure y'all figured that out, right? You adopt the greatest next best thing and you still are trying to engage your community more than what you have in the past, right? It's always that thing we're striving for. So we make sure that this is accessible on every platform, whether it's a mobile friendly website, an app, a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, you name it.
How about a flip phone? I don't know.
A flip phone, they'll get a text and they'll know whenever they get to a desktop.
It's a flip phone.
So along those lines, Eli, in part, we were looking at reducing our costs by not having this newsletter mailed out every 6 months.
Right.
And I certainly appreciate and do not have any objection to where you guys are headed with your particular program. The question that I would ask, though, is that there is a certain group of our community that are older who, if you asked them what an app was, they may not even be able to define it. And so, the mail gets that information to them. These people tend to either listen to the radio or watch or read a newspaper, the local newspaper. So in your program, is there a way for significant events, not just, band camp was canceled today, that kind of stuff, but for significant events, is there a way for the administration or possibly a principal to have this program generate a news release that could be sent to the newspaper, the radio station, and still eliminate this mailing, but provide that information potentially to some people who will not be following this on a day-to-day basis on a computer or a phone, flip or otherwise.
You can do that with AI right now.
Let me take one step back before I go back to the phone now that I've figured that out. When we're thinking about an age demographic, right? Someone that is not necessarily on social media as much or a website, right? There's that opportunity of the print magazines in the mail, right? Or those newsletters. What we have done, right, being a digital ed tech company, right, we're not doing any of those printing, but we want to give you a platform to be able to communicate to those individuals as well. Now, initially out the gate, right, coming back to this one-stop shop, what you would see down here at the bottom is engage, much like a s'more that y'all currently have as well, consolidating that from a newsletter perspective. Now, this is digitally delivered on email, text, onto the website, however you like it. What we have seen school districts do, right, to reduce having, a big newsletter that's posted out is utilize something like this and then have that email campaign or that quick little postcard that's much cheaper to send and notify them of this content that's available, right? Or even, printing limited content of this and putting it in those publicly accessible areas. Not a direct replacement, I recognize, to what you're asking there. But thinking through how do we make this really accessible? These newsletters, there's hundreds, probably be thousands of designs in the next year. This is received on an email. It's HTML on the email. So as they receive it, they're not having to open a PDF. They're just simply receiving it in their inbox and they're able to click the links on it.
So your system isn't really set up to generate a news release that would go out to other publication then. And as Doug suggested, we would have to use a separate AI program to, in fact, generate that information. Is that correct?
But that's not, he gives you the ability to email whatever that release is. So it'd be a matter of, if you had an email from the radio station, you could just tag it in there and send that flyer right to the radio station, right to whoever you need to go to by adding it. Is that correct, Eli?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
They're not creating the wording for it. They're just an app that kind of pulls everything together and
But
streamlines the communication.
You, the person, or administrators, whoever, creating the content,
Right.
and then you're just adding, Renda into the email line and sending it to Renda, and then you can send it over.
Because I think, Rob, that it's important, that we, and obviously, Eli's really beating this drum about telling our story and selling our program. But we need to figure out a way to make sure that some of the older taxpayers understand all the good things that are happening here. And again, I'm not necessarily advocating the newsletter, but maybe there's some other ways to get that information to them.
Correct. And Eli have actually spoken about that, solving that problem before he came here. And, and I believe there's ways that we can skin that cat, but,
but I would still kind of want it to be like monthly news release, something
like that, right?
Something scheduled that every month something went out to the newspaper and to the radio station. Again, telling the story, selling the program.
I think the radio station does a great job now. I mean, all of our things, it's just, the newspaper's gone so poor that, there is, you can read in 2 to 3 minutes. There's really nothing.
Oh, you mean small?
Yeah, there's nothing as much local because they don't go out and cover events like they used to.
Doug, I would certainly agree with you that what a great job Renda's doing. I would hate to send a news release to the Gazette and not copy the Renda on it. Just as a matter of practicality.
Sure.
But yes, but sometimes, a newspaper like that, if they have a canned article that's already written, sometimes they'll just publish it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's
Eli, I'm a taxpayer in the district. I have no kids in the district. I'm not really as engaged. I don't care what the fourth grade's having for lunch or what the soccer team's doing, but I do want to stay up to date on school board news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could I, in theory, sign up for an app or share my email with the district and get updates right after every committee meeting sent to my email through Aptigee?
We could. Yeah, we could. So we have a form section where we can intake information for those that are interested and then hit that exact target market for particular communication. The data that we're having come in from the student information system, how do I phrase this? We're not data agnostic. If you have these other target markets that you're looking to hit with these emails or these newsletters or these quick updates over text, calls, you name it, right? We can set that target market up as a group or a contact group within our system to easily push that specific content to them. I think a big thing to call out here too is kind of thinking through, yes, like local newspapers are not like they used to be in the past. Getting content in front of them, right? Like everything's been bought out by the state gazette or whatever it is, right? You're lucky if you get a simple article in it. And that's why you see these little snippets of information. What you're seeing most engagement is typically on social media, right? And from the mobile perspective, like you've got all these, right? All these tools that you currently have. You've got your social medias, and then some providers are doing something like this, right? Where we're thinking through what are those things on the website? And then you go to see, what's for lunch or something like that, and you're kicked out, right? We don't want to do that because the aging demographic specifically, right? They're used to maybe a Facebook more than they are like these other third-party solutions, right? Whether it's a grandparent or someone that graduated there 20 years ago. Where we want it to be is in this branded example, and I'm going to speak to the news story specifically as I jump this in. But when it is branded to the school, right, whether it is on the website, a mobile friendly site, or the app, it's designed to be really easy to navigate. So all those great things that you're seeing on social media or you're trying to have on the website comes here. If it is more of that news article style, I can show you at another time what that looks like to create a news article through Thrillshare, but all that comes here as well. So just like it would maybe look in a newspaper, we have it formatted with those images, with that long form text, all coming here as well.
Eli, I have a quick question. So I know you mentioned before about like if a teacher wants to post or someone wants to post, it comes in and someone approves it. So is administrator, talk to me about the administrator function, who handles it, who's kind of coordinating this for the district?
It just depends. You can assign different people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It is.
so, can I just jump in real quick?
Yes.
So what we did at Glendale, my district, old former district used to use it. We had students or high school BCIT class, one period, run the website.
Oh.
They would do all the articles, they take all the pictures, and then the classroom teacher had to approve everything. There's like 3 different levels. Am I right, Eli, in saying that? There's 3 different levels you can sit in on, or 2 different levels, where you submit it, but you won't get approved until either myself, Chase, or the high school principal approved it. And then it goes out to the public. So you have to decide.
Different
who
levels
wants
of
to do it.
approval authority
So
depending upon.
Rob can probably approve everything.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, there's absolutely no way that any administrator would have the time to approve all the messages coming out of school. But the nice thing is that they're archived, right, Eli? Like right now, if a teacher's using Class Dojo, we're not paying for the subscription. We have no way of getting what they send to the parents back. Or if a coach is using Remind and they send something inappropriate to a student or a parent, we have no means unless we subpoena it to get it back. Apogee has all of that archive. So if we did have to investigate somebody, we could pull it off. So even if it's not something we approve, it's something that we can definitely set parameters for, reminders for, and then hold people accountable if they would go outside those.
Yeah, so if a teacher wants to send a message to their class, that wouldn't have to be approved by anyone other than that.
Trust them
Or if
completely.
a coach wants to send something about a practice,
Get it out there.
they can get it out there without getting
Approved.
They'll have the approval. to
So
do
speaking of that, Eli, so Google Classroom is used a lot at the junior and senior high. So what is that integration? I'm assuming there is an integration for Google Classroom pushing through.
There is integration with Google Classroom from the specific classroom level and posts. So I've gone into a demo environment here, right, where we can see all the posts. Like this is just a fake school that we've created. You've got all the publicly accessible things within the feed and the media section, right? So from dining menus to those events calendars. I guess I need to add some more dining events to the demo app, but I can show you another school. But all of the public stuff is accessible. Once it gets behind the sign-in wall, there's the rooms, right? And the rooms is this classroom feed where, to your point, that Google Classroom integration will feed those announcements to this system.
Okay.
You can also see as a parent, once you're logged in, right, whether Face ID or you just logged in through clicking a link on your phone, once you're verified in, all those classrooms per each student, right? So I can see the materials or the feed for a specific classroom. Think of the feed here as this is the campus or district. You get to choose. The room, this is a feed for once we're behind that sign-in wall, the daily digest of all classroom announcements for a parent. That way they're going to one place. Same thing for messages here for that back and forth conversation. They have a single daily digest that they go and can see every student's teachers and the messages that they're having with them. All of this, to Rob's point, is what's being kept and cataloged so that you have access to it, purview, oversight, whatever you want to call it. This is also Thrillshare Mobile. So everything I showed you on the website, we want to make that accessible for admin, for teachers, for coaches from their phone too, so that they can more directly share that information to you.
Which is sweet, because I cannot tell you how many times I've been on the road and someone sends me this awesome thing that we want to send out, and I can't do it from my phone.
Yeah.
So Eli, let's say if I'm Chris Adams and I have 6 kids in the district, when I pull that into that feed,
It's gonna be messy. I'm down to 5.
Okay, so he's down to 5.
Yeah.
So my question is, then I enter each of my children's rooms to see what their feeds look like. Is that correct?
You can look at a specific classroom, but we don't want you to have to go into 6 different classrooms. That's where you just click rooms and it's the announcements for every class, or you click messages and it's the
For that child. So what I'm saying is if Chris has 5 kids in the district, he'll have a feed for each child. Is that correct? Or does he create a family of feeds and all his kids' feeds would go together?
a family of feeds and all his, because he as a parent is tied to student ID for each of those students. So he's not jumping across multiple classrooms, multiple kids, multiple campuses. He's just.
Think he's gonna be organized enough to get all that straightened out.
I can't tell you how, like, I looking through
Well, it's
emails
easier if you
now.
put it all together. Because
Different
then you can just go through it a lot.
Yeah, in one spot. I mean, not that we're all thinking about me here, but.
No, but you have most kids.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes,
You're absolutely.
I am a
How
case
nice
study.
would it be though, when you ask that question, what do you have for homework? You already know the answer.
You just go right
And
to
it's in
one site and find it versus.
I'm sorry.
Oh, are we at a point where, have we seen a quote?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have.
okay.
We have. And Eli and I have agreed to, based on your interest, whether or not we should continue working on that quote. It's expensive. It's 4 times what we pay for our current website, easily. Now it does 4 times as many things.
So this is a website replacement as well.
It's going to replace our website. It will replace our newsletter. It will replace our emergency notification center. It will replace all those different apps that we're using all over the place. And we would need to probably forego that newsletter to pay for it. You know, because if we pay for that newsletter, this is costing us more money, and then we're not, you know.
So you're saying with the website and the newsletter together, where are we at?
What we
distance?
paid last year for the newsletter, for SMORE, for our Bright Arrow, for our website, and for the one series of the newsletter was $18,000 all told. And this is going to be slightly more than that, but it would be, you know, they're willing to talk to us more about price. There's also an implementation fee, because all this stuff that they're going to have to do requires a lot of work on their part and then a lot of training. So there's going to be $11,000, Eli, implementation fee.
Standard, something we need to talk about is maybe a 70% reduction on that front to help align here. Not to throw out exact numbers, but that's part of the conversations we'll be having soon to try to align here.
Really, this meeting was to take your temperature. If you're interested, Eli and I will continue to work. We'll bring back a quote when we're ready. If you're not interested, Eli and I are part as friends, and it was.
What do you guys?
I think we should move forward.
Doug, you interested? Sally?
Interested.
And it's probably gonna take till next school year to get it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am, yeah.
I think it sounds like, Walter, it sounds like
Absolutely.
everyone's interested in seeing what
I
the
mean,
price would be.
It's not my generation. Okay, but it's the next generation. It's the way business will be done.
It's being done.
Is being done.
Mhm.
And so, you know, we need to make sure that we move into that 21st century. So, yes.
Hey, we're gonna start 85% off right off the bat.
That's what he said, right?
We have a
decisions here, but sometimes I got a little bit of pull.
Well, we appreciate
Thank
taking the
you.
time.
Thanks, Eli.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Rob, I'll get with you in the next coming, days, and we'll find time to continue to hash things out and make sure that we align with the team. But just want to thank you all for the opportunity to showcase it, and just shout out my email or even send me a text. Rob's got it if you got any questions that pop into y'all's heads.
Thank you, Eli. We look forward to it. Make sure you sharpen that pen, right?
I'm
Thank
on.
you.
Pencil,
pen,
so you can erase.
Yeah, erase. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Have a good.
All right, that's it. That's all we have.
That's
Okay,
it.
that
So,
was interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Special meeting, right?
Yeah, we have a 21-minute downtime. So
Yeah.
motion if you got one.